Hello and welcome to Creative Conversations. My name is Blake Shaw and I'm here with Tammie Walker today. Creative Conversations is a series put on by Summer of the Arts where we get to talk with influential people here in Iowa City who are deep in the arts and music. So Tammie, I want to go way back to where you started with music, okay? We'll talk about how you are a director of music at the University of Iowa right now, but how did you first get inspired, first get hooked on playing music?
Yeah, I'm so excited to talk about all that and excited to talk with you.
Thank you.
Blake, always big fan, big fan of Blake Shaw. Well, I feel like music has always been what I wanted to do. That sounds very, very cheesy, but when I was a little kid, I was that kid that was always crawling over to the piano and pulling myself up. Mm-hmm. To make noise, and kind of made everything a musical instrument when I was a kid. I'd put rubber bands on boxes and then try to make different pitches with the sounds Suzuki. And silverware and drum sets in the kitchen. And I was just that kid. I was always making noise and always making music. And my older sister got to take piano lessons first, being the older sister. And I was just that annoying little sister that every time she got to practice her pieces, I was right next to her on the bench trying to see what was happening and what was going on. So just always been very, very interested in it. And the funny thing is nobody in my family, except for my two grandmothers who did not live nearby, is in music at all. So it's just naturally drawn to it.
I love to hear about that because I'm kind of the same way. There's for me, there was no one in my family that played music. And so I love to hear. So both of your parents didn't play at all? Oh,
yeah.
Wow. So you really came from your black sheep almost.
Correct. Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah. And my dad really doesn't play music. You don't want to stand by him in any sort of public singing experience at all. So yeah, it's just really kind of remarkable. But both of my grandmothers played by ear, piano and other musical instruments. Cool. And yeah, so it's in there somewhere. Not sure where it came from.
When you grew up and were really deciding that music was probably going to be a career, how did your parents feel about this? Was it hard to convince them that that this could be a viable thing in your life?
Yeah. Oh, we could talk for a long time about that. So the short answer is yes. I'm a first-gen college student, so just the whole concept of Mom and Dad, I'm going to go to college. Was new, and then the concept of, and it's going to be a music major, was a double whammy. So yeah, there was a lot of talking and a lot of splaining to do to get to that next step, but I had wonderful mentors in high school. My public school music teachers who really believed in me and helped me with auditions and encouraged me to just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. And I just kept going and didn't look back. So yeah, there was a lot of convincing. And then the joke is I'm not sure that my parents really knew what I did for a living until about 10 years ago. Sure. Then I think they finally thought, oh, okay, now we get it.
I feel you there.
Yeah.
Let's give a shout out. I was actually going to ask you about your early mentors or teachers. Anybody that you'd like to name? Yeah.
Oh, many people, but yeah, my public school music teachers. Teachers changed the world. As you know. Yeah, big shout out to my elementary school music teacher, Mrs. Erfurth. She really was the first person that, one of my first real idols that I thought was kind of amazing because she could play any instrument, and she was handicapped, and she would find her way over to the piano with her wheelchair, and she would be able to play anything for us, and then she'd pick up her guitar and play anything for us, and it was like the best hour whenever we had music class. So shout out to Mrs. Erfurth. And then my orchestra director, Layla Sonier, who's still in Madison, Wisconsin, was a huge influence on my life. And then piano teachers, Frances Karp was my teacher in Madison, Wisconsin. And then in college, many wonderful teachers beyond that too. But those first teachers that really encourage students that might not have that same level of encouragement coming from another part of their life. I mean, they really do change lives.
Absolutely. So orchestra, were you playing piano in orchestra, or?
Yeah, so my dirty little secret that I guess now is on being recorded, so that's wonderful. I went to college on a violin scholarship.
Okay, all right.
And I got piano degrees with my violin scholarship. So I did play violin and piano
Nice.
through college. So I was in the orchestra in high school and throughout college.
Nice. All right, so from Madison you said, oh wait, sorry, Madison?
Yeah, grew up in Madison, yep.
And then you were teaching, you're gonna have to remember, where were you teaching before University of Iowa?
Yep, I was at Western Illinois University in Macomb, Illinois for 21 years before coming here.
And what, I mean, obviously there was a job opening and opportunity here or whatever, but was there anything else that drew you specifically to Iowa City?
Yeah, well, I've known about the University of Iowa my whole life. I mean, it's an incredible music program, incredible university. When I was teaching at WIU, it's only a couple hours away from here. I sent many piano students to Iowa over the years for graduate school because it's such a strong program. When I was director at the School of Music at WIU, my last 4 years there, and the opening was available for the director at the School of Music here in Iowa, I absolutely jumped at the opportunity to apply. It's kind of dream job category, again, knowing the reputation of the school and the reputation of the community, which in so many ways to me felt like home. Growing up in Madison, just very similar vibe. Iowa City and Madison, Wisconsin in many ways have a lot in common besides just the Big Ten university feel. Just a real openness to many, many things and just a real embracing of the arts. And I felt that here from my job interview, and I still feel it 6 years later.
Can you talk more about that? I was going to ask you what kept you here, and that kind of feels like something that keeps you here. I also really love the collaborative atmosphere of Iowa City. Could you say anything about that?
Yeah, it's incredible. It is incredible. So I moved here in the summer of 2019, and I could not even believe how much was happening pretty much every weekend. The joke was that I didn't realize they closed down all the streets every weekend downtown almost for all of the festivals and things happening. I was so surprised with how organized all of the activities were and how well advertised things were as well. When I started looking around, like what is there to do for a new person in town, I could find something almost every night, which was incredible. I was really impressed with the number of venues, live venues that there were in a really kind of small geographic area. There were many different types of venues, which said a lot about the community instantly. And then just picking up publications like Little Village and just seeing like what are people writing about and what are people reading, it just, instantly impressed on me like, well, this is a community that really embraces the arts. It's, my love of this community has just grown every single year since I got here. It's just the more people that I meet and opportunities that I've had the opportunity to be part of, it's just been incredible.
And can we just for a second talk about your awesome children that are all doing music things too as well? How did they get into the music and feel about that?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. So I grew up in this non-musical family, and then I created a musical family. So yeah, I'm not sure how that happens genetically, but that's what happened. So yeah, I have 4 children. My husband and I have 4 kids, and our oldest is a teacher in Mount Vernon. She's the elementary music teacher there, Sophie Walker. And our son Bennett is a band director in Mason City. And then we have twin girls that are freshmen here at Iowa, and they're double majors, music and other things. So everybody's doing something. Lots of Hawkeye marching band members and good stuff happening. It's really exciting.
So your time, at U of I is still fresh. I'm sure you're still thinking of new, exciting things. What do you hope to bring in the future? Can we get any inside tea, or what do you feel about that?
Yeah, something that we're really passionate about in the School of Music is making sure that we're creating really musical citizens, and as much as possible getting our students in the mindset of what they're going to do once they leave. We joke all the time that we're trying to get them out the door the second that they arrive, but we mean that in the most loving way.
Of course.
We're trying to show them opportunities that are in their back door here in Iowa City, but we're trying to prepare them for what they're going to give to the world, so that they're not so focused on just themselves. College is, in some ways, a really, I'll call it a beautifully selfish time of life, and that it really is that moment where you are really like honing your skills and figuring out yourself and what you want to do. But in the arts, it's really, really important that you take the time, besides honing your skills and getting good at what you're going to do, to think about, what am I going to give to my community and this world and this profession? Because the arts are about sharing and connecting people. So more and more we're working that into our curriculum, just in little ways. For example, a meeting I had right before this one, true story, we're talking about how can we have our recital attendance requirement be more inclusive? How can students get credit, college credit, for coming to something at the Englert at the same level as going to something in the Boxman Music Building? Like, how can we impress that upon our students, like these values?
Wonderful.
So that's something that is really, really important to us, and sustaining our profession.
Absolutely. And from an alumni, I can tell you, I didn't get to study while you were there, but it's definitely got me ready for the real world. So I'm glad that you guys are just getting even better and better. So we know that live music is important. Why do you think live music is important for someone who doesn't play an instrument at all?
Music, I'll say all the arts, besides just music.
Absolutely.
It's the opportunity for everybody to get on the same level. You can strip away everything that separates us throughout the entire day, and everybody gets at the same level when you are in some sort of artistic environment, taking something in and experiencing something. And we're all feeling the same things in our own way. So it's individual, but it's collective. And that doesn't happen anywhere except a live experience. If you are alone and, listening to something on headphones or watching a movie on a plane, that's a very individual experience. You're still experiencing it. But in a live venue, you have that community element that you don't have anywhere else. And if you think about when you go through your entire day, you don't have that level of connection, that equal playing field anywhere else in any part of your day. When you're in a meeting or other gatherings, there are divisions. There are people with opinion A and opinion B, and talking at this. But when the mouths are closed and people are taking in and experiencing, it's healing, and it puts people in a better mind space. And it's the answer to many things. It's the answer to healthier communication and
I love that word,
many
communication.
Things. So, yeah.
You've touched on it a little bit, but in your mind, maybe what could make live music even better in Iowa City specifically? What could we as musicians or the people that are paying for us do better?
What could we do better? Holy smokes.
Hard one, isn't it?
It is a hard one. I think just telling the story even more and getting more people aware of what's happening. Because I'm still learning things about this community 6 years later that I did not know, and meeting people I had not met. I think the more that we can share and have people experience, I think that's something we can continue to expand. Finding ways to make what's happening accessible to those that can't come out to Jazz Fest, maybe physically. How do we make sure that those folks can experience all of this as well? So, yeah.
So you are super busy. You're running a whole bunch of important stuff, but you still find time to play. Well, where are you playing right now?
Yeah, a little bit. Not as much as I used to, that's for sure. But yeah, I do play at least once a year on either the Piano Sundays series or the Key Change series at the University of Iowa School of Music. I did record a CD with a flute player who's an Iowa City native who now teaches at Auburn University. Jenny Broffitt-Kunzer is her name, and the CD is called Narrative, and it's works by women composers for flute and piano. You could check it out on Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you stream. But that project we completed last year. So I'm playing a little because it's excellent for the mental health.
Absolutely.
And I love it. I still teach a little bit as well. I still have a few students, and
that's wonderful. It's wonderful I think for our students to see that, we're still in love with this and we love to be out there playing all the time. And I really think that's important. So I'm glad to hear that you're doing that. So of all the venues in Iowa City, we don't have to play favorites, but which one do you like to go to the most? Which vibe do you like the most here?
Okay, I really don't want to pick a favorite, but the Angler is pretty next level.
Yeah.
Kind of every part of it. So,
love it.
Yeah.
Good.
And I'm sorry I didn't say the Boxman Music Building first, because that is incredible. We don't have to even say how world-class that is and phenomenal. But yeah, every time I'm in the Angler, it's special. And the history here is pretty amazing too.
Awesome. So you've had a few summers here and you've gotten to experience the summer festivals here. Which summer festival would you like to talk about and tell us why you like it the most?
Favorite. Well, I'm pretty partial to Jazz Fest. It has the most Blake Shaw usually, which is awesome. I mean, I'm a huge jazz lover. I think they bring in incredible artists. That's probably my favorite. Christian McBride. Still thinking about that concert.
Me too.
It was really special. I also love Arts Fest, though. I mean, who doesn't love looking at all of the artists and experiencing the variety of that?
It's so wonderful here.
But if I had to pick a favorite, I guess I would say Jazz Fest.
All right, I think I'll agree with you on that one.
If you're into that sort of thing, I guess. But.
So you talked about your CD that you recorded. Have you recorded before that too?
Yeah, not as much. Yeah, I've done lots of collaborative projects with various people over the years. So trumpet and some various things. But super proud of the flute one though, just because it's music that some of it hasn't been recorded before, because some of it wasn't even written for flute and piano. So.
Do you compose or write? I haven't asked you that before, I don't think.
I have not composed or written music. I would say the closest thing would be arranging, which is some of what we did on this CD. So there's 2 pieces on there that we arranged for flute and piano that we're proud of. So just to kind of tell the story and get it out there.
That's wonderful. The director of the School of Music is doing things.
Bit.
I love it. I love
doing
it.
Things. Right?
From my POV, I think you've really made a lasting impression. And so this is maybe early in your U of I career, but I want to ask you the question, what do you want to be remembered for here in Iowa City at the University of Iowa?
I hope people remember me as a collaborator, as somebody that brought people together within the school and outside of the school. I hope that's
good. I think you're in the right place. All right. Thank you very much, Tammie. That was beautiful. I love what you're doing, like I said, and I hope you continue doing that. All right?
Thank you.
And that concludes our creative conversation. This is Tammie Walker, and I'm Blake Shaw. Thank you.